If you're eating clean, working out, and still not seeing the results that you want, then this video is either going to make you really, really mad or change your life. Because I'm about to call out 5 common things that even the most health conscious people tend to get wrong about their metabolism. Over the past 7 years, my team and I have helped hundreds of folks break through weight loss plateaus. Even the folks who thought that their metabolism was completely broken and there was nothing that could be done. Most of these folks were trying really hard. They were doing most of the right things. But here's what we discovered. Their metabolisms were not broken. They were just getting mixed signals. And if you're watching this video, you might be in the same situation. So let's fix that now. Make sure you stick around because mistake number 4 is probably happening to you right now, even if you think you've been doing everything right. Now, before we dive in, quick disclaimer, human health is incredibly complex. And I know here on social media, things can tend to get boiled down into kind of simplistic thinking. On this channel, that is not what we're about. I want to recognize that there can absolutely be underlying medical conditions, hormonal imbalances, and certain medications that can impact weight loss goals. So if you're dealing with more persistent issues and or have a more complex medical history, then definitely seek advice from a qualified medical professional. What I'm going to share today are the common patterns that I tend to see in health-minded individuals who think that they're doing the right things for their health, but ultimately harming their long-term progress and frustrated because they're not seeing the results they want. So this first mistake I want to go over is called the healthy food trap. And I'm going to depict this in a recent client interaction I had with somebody we're going to call Tom. That's not his real name, but he's a real client. Tom came to me completely frustrated after trying to eat really, really healthy for 6 months and seeing no progress with his weight loss. We did a little discovery. So naturally, I wanted to see exactly what Tom was eating. So I had Tom do some logging for about a week, and we took a look at what his day-to-day nutrition intake looked like. And I'm pinpointing this to Tom, but this is an extremely common experience with clients that come to me. We do some investigative logging, and we find, oh, there's something interesting happening here. That being that Tom was consuming some really nutritious foods, things like avocado toast in the morning, or these full-fat Greek yogurt parfaits that he was making with tons of berries. And oftentimes while he was stuck in board meetings, he would bring his own little snack baggie of walnuts and pecans and some other mixed nuts instead of reaching for the chips that were at the boardroom. These are all fantastic strategies that Tom had, but the common denominator is that these diets are really high in healthy fats, which when I'm talking about eating a healthful, well-balanced diet, healthy fats are a really important thing to consider and incorporate into a diet. But when we're talking about eating for weight loss, things have to look a little bit different. Not because healthy fats are bad and we need to eliminate them out of the diet by any means. We need to re-strategize temporarily when weight loss is the priority and then look at reincorporating healthy fats later on. So what does this practically look like? So making some lower fat or reduced fat swaps temporarily. Instead of full-fat Greek yogurt, going to 0 or 2% fat. Instead of full-fat cheese, going to reduced fat cheese. And just cutting some of the oil and nuts in half and maybe mixing in some roasted edamame or roasted chickpeas as a snack. So looking at how you can swap some of the healthy fat content foods for higher protein or higher fiber foods that are going to reduce your calorie intake overall. Because when we're talking about weight loss, calorie deficit is really the primary target, but we want to do that in a way where you're not feeling like you're starving, you're not feeling like you're restricting yourself. So to do that properly, it really comes down to making sure we have a little bit more protein and a little bit more fiber to fill you up, and that's going to reduce some fat content naturally. Again, this isn't about eliminating healthy foods permanently, it's about being strategic temporarily. As far as how this went for Tom is, once we made some of these strategic switches, he was down 8 pounds within a couple of weeks, without feeling like we made any huge drastic changes to his diet too. But as we know, nutrition is just part of the equation and exercise is also important, which is why mistake number 2 is also very relevant. So let's talk about when exercise backfires. There are 2 reasons I see exercise backfiring. Number 1, somebody is a cardio king or queen and they are just going hard on the treadmill, on the stair stepper. More is better with the cardio and just going gung-ho in that direction. And why that's not great is because if you're doing more cardio, you're not necessarily focusing on your strength training as much. And strength training is what builds muscle, and muscle is what burns fat 24/7, even while you're sleeping. And actually, if you're overdoing the cardio while you're on a calorie deficit and trying to lose weight, you could be losing your muscle tissue, your precious muscle tissue that's going to help raise your metabolic rate. The other factor that I see happening very often, and that is stressing their body out. And when your body is stressed out, it does not do a great job at prioritizing weight loss. But here's really the key when considering exercise, if we're refocusing on that, to lose weight. Prioritize strength training first and foremost. 3 times a week is a great target. That's going to help you build some muscle and boost your metabolic rate. Once you get that down consistently, increase your step count Do some mild to medium intensity cardio, nothing crazy, not talking sprints yet or anything like that. Just focus on getting a couple thousand more steps in your day and doing some easy, gentle cardio. Once you get that down solidly, think about incorporating maybe some of those more high intensity sessions, 1 to 2 max in the week, realistically. But that priority order is going to be the most important for you raising your metabolic rate and keeping it there, preserving muscle tissue, and not stressing your body out. I've seen clients lose much more weight doing just 8,000 steps a day and a couple of strength training sessions in the week rather than their daily spin classes or crazy HIIT cardio. Your body craves balance and structure, not burnout. All right, so let's move on to the third mistake, which I'm gonna call timing errors. Imagine waking up and you're in a rush. So you just grab your coffee, head out the door, and you don't really get a chance to have any protein until your lunchtime, maybe even later. Then 3 p.m. hits and you're raiding the office snack drawer like it's personally wronged you. And then maybe you get home, have a decent sized dinner because you're starving. And then like 2 hours later, you sit down to watch some TV and you're still hungry. You could actually have like a whole pint of ice cream if you wanted to. So you do. And then you're stuck wondering, God, why did I do that? Listen, this isn't a willpower problem. It's a blood sugar problem. So while you may be telling yourself that you're intermittent fasting because you're just skipping your breakfasts out of convenience and diving straight into lunch, it's not setting you up for success in your weight loss goal because it's putting your blood sugar on a wild roller coaster and you're feeling like you're having these intense cravings later on that's leading you to poor choices. For some people, intentional intermittent fasting, it works. It's great. They don't have that issue. Most people, I find, do. So here's the big game changer I make in this category. Try having 25 to 30 grams of protein within an hour or two of waking up. This helps to stabilize your blood sugar and provide your body with some fuel to work off of so you're not stuck craving so much caffeine later in the day. Then focus on balanced meals every 3 to 4 hours because this is going to stabilize your blood sugar so much more throughout the day and prevent those metabolic crashes and those cravings that come afterwards. So let's make it realistic for all you people who say like, I don't have time in the mornings or it's really hard to eat for me in the morning. I get it. Easing into it with something like a protein smoothie, let's say 7 a.m. is a great way to start. Then maybe a lunch at noon, a protein dense snack at 3. Your body starts to learn and trust that fuel is coming and you have less and less of those crazy crashes and cravings. And then when that time comes at the end of the day, when you sit down to watch TV, you're not getting that strange hankering to have an entire pint of ice cream to yourself because you've been well fueled throughout the day and you're not playing calorie catch up towards the end of the evening. As a quick aside, if you have been following my journey along for a while now, you know I've been working really hard and doing a lot of extra training and spending time in the sand trying to improve my beach volleyball game. And all this playing and lifting and ramping up my training intensity has definitely affected my metabolism. And as a byproduct, my body composition has changed. So it was time to get some new clothes that actually fit my body better. But I didn't really want to spend a fortune on clothes since my body tends to fluctuate a lot throughout the training season. And I knew my body composition was probably going to change a few months from now. But I still wanted some high quality pieces of clothing that would last. That's why shopping with Quince has really helped. Their basics are exactly what I've needed. Well-made pieces that fit properly without breaking the bank. These wide fit jeans I got from Quince are a game changer because they are actually really stretchy and comfortable enough to fluctuate with my body, but still high quality enough to look great when I'm dressing them up. But Quince doesn't only just have high quality and affordable clothing. They have shoes, belts, and other key accessories to help you feel your best. So if you're looking for a few new pieces to fit as your metabolism is changing, then you're definitely going to want to check out Quince. I'll be sure to link my favorites down below in the description. Moving into mistake number 4 are hidden stress factors. Here's something really interesting I don't think a lot of people consider. Our bodies can't really differentiate between psychological and physiological stress. So if you are stressed emotionally and mentally, then pushing yourself physiologically into some really intense or difficult workouts or being hyper regimented about getting 8,000 steps a day even may not be your best friend. Sometimes there has to be a conversation around stress load management and looking at the cumulative stress you have in your life. Now, if hitting 8 to 10,000 steps a day is going to feel stress relieving, great, go for it. If it feels stressful on your body and is causing you pain, probably not going to be the best thing for you right now. Oftentimes, people need to get their mental and emotional and sometimes physiological stress down before considering adding anything else that is going to stress the system, like exercise. And in order to do that, that comes with good sleep hygiene, maybe some breath work, and some other nervous system regulation techniques. It's not uncommon for when I start to work with somebody for them to also be working with a mental health professional because getting some of these stress factors reduced can absolutely help your body be able to allocate more resources towards your weight loss journey without constantly keeping your cortisol on high. There's frankly a lot more we can go into this topic in particular, but I'm going to leave it at that. Something to consider. Make sure you're getting enough sleep, that you're handling your mental and emotional stress when considering your weight loss journey, because your body and your mind are not separate entities. All right, so lastly, we're going to talk about mistake number 5, which is the perfectionist trap. How this usually shows up and gets in the way of your weight loss journey is that life tends to be imperfect. There tends to be a lot of chaos that happens, and however we plan something to go usually isn't how it goes to a T. And when that life interruption happens, then it's going to be really hard for you to just jump back into your routine the next day. You're going to be thinking,
well, I missed my workout today and tomorrow I can't do it. So, gosh, I might as well start again on Monday fresh.
When in reality, there is no perfect day or perfect week. There's going to be mess ups in your week. And this is really going to challenge you perfectionists out there who are used to putting your full effort into everything or not doing it at all. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to practice the 80-20 rule. You're going to practice doing it good enough 80% of the time and welcome 20% of the time just messing it up completely. Didn't have time to do all your meal preps, but maybe got 3 meals done? Great. Have those 3 meals, do your best for the rest of the week, make wise choices, but don't just throw in the towel and say you're going to order DoorDash. Practicing consistency of showing up for yourself when life gets messy is going to pay off so much more than trying to do it perfectly. And that is the biggest difference maker I see in somebody's weight loss journey, to be honest. All these other fixes to these metabolism mistakes do not work if you cannot practice showing up imperfectly. So guys, just to recap and reiterate, your metabolism is not broken. It's just getting some mixed signals of stress, or maybe eating the wrong foods, or doing sometimes the wrong types of workouts, the wrong timing, and maybe the wrong mindset. And all those things can be just slightly adjusted to make a huge difference. So guys, I hope this video was enlightening and hope that you found some things that maybe you can do a little bit differently and tweak slightly and can lead to a big, big difference. And I'd love to hear if any of these were like an aha moment for you, drop it down below. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, if you need more guidance in your health or weight loss journey, don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is on our website, bevictoriouscoaching.com. Or if you want some more in-depth help, feel free to book a strategy session with myself or Coach Maddie. Those links are down below in the description as well. Thanks again, guys. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.